that character, you know, loud. Scream it, Robert. Scream it. Here we go. And...
Yo, Quentin, I was thinking that, like what if he says beggars instead?
What the what?
Right.
Get these beggars out of here? Why would he say that?
Well, why would he
Have
say?
you, excuse me, have you seen Django?
Yes, and in that movie, it was right for them to. Well, it wasn't right. Whoa, no, God damn it! You know what I'm? It wasn't right. Okay, I'm saying. God, okay, shut up. Would you guys shut up, please? Robert is trying to stay in character here. Robert, are you ready to say my favorite line? Yeah. You know, Quentin, I think he kind of has a point. Like, I don't want to keep saying this. I don't.
His face when he said favorite line. Quentin Tarantino's a motherfucker, I tell you that. He is a motherfucker. He gets away. He's going to be on you talk about a win streak or a streak. We joke about fucking Sean Strickland checking everybody I think last month. Or was it Sean Strickland? Yeah. I may be tweaking. But I mean, Quentin Tarantino has gotten away with saying the N-word at least 10 straight times. 10 straight movies, at least. At fucking least.
Kind of has a point. Like, I don't want to keep saying this. Are you ready to say my favorite line? Yeah. You know, Quentin, I think he kind of has a point. Like, I don't want to keep saying this. Are you kidding me? Do I have to do this myself? No. Do I have to get in there and say this line myself? Because I'll do it. I'll do it. Don't tempt me. Please don't. Fine, I'll do it. Robert, get out of here. You're fired. And I call you an actor. Please. Put the camera on me. Turn the microphone all the way up. And action. Somebody get...
Quentin Tarantino's next movie is definitely gonna drop the N-word a few fucking times.
Album this year, and you can't tell me any different after he just released his first guest verse in 4 years. What's popping, y'all? For Complex, I'm Jordan Rose, and Jay joined his wife Beyonce on the remix of her song Morning Dew, which she finally officially dropped on DSPs a few weeks ago. Rapping over a sample of Biggie's Big Papa before finishing with the refrain over
I don't know if y'all heard that.
Bamba, Hov gets a little staticky on this verse. After getting his freak bars off,
Zach said, never been a Tarantino fan. The only film by him I've liked was Once Upon a Time in Hollywood. That's fucking crazy. You mean to tell me you didn't like, well, I can see you not liking Pulp Fiction. It's too loony, it's too wooky for you. But that's a brilliant movie. I mean, even something like Reservoir Dogs, The Hateful Eight, I would think you would like The Hateful Eight. I mean, The Django, I think is an easy one. Kill Bill, you didn't like the Kill Bills? Pulp Fiction is overrated. I still want to check out a few films by him now. You better watch your mouth, dog. I love Pulp Fiction. I'm sorry. I'm one of those. I just watched Pulp Fiction last weekend, and it's always like fresh orange juice, man. It's always, every time I watch it, it still feels so refreshing. Yeah, that's clear Pulp Fiction hate. But what Quentin Tarantino films have you seen to make this easier? I mean, have you seen Reservoir Dogs? Like I said, I mean, he has a killer list of films. He's one of the greatest film directors of our time. Let me see. Quentin Tarantino movies. Let's see. Okay, we got a little fishing here. All right. Quentin Tarantino movies. We got Pulp Fiction. Jackie Brown. I don't know if you like Jackie Brown. I can see you liking Once Upon a Time in Hollywood. Reservoir Dogs pretty violent. The Django pretty violent. Inglourious Basterds. I still got to see Inglourious Basterds. As a matter of fact, I might watch that tonight. I've seen it, but I really didn't see it how I need to see it. Inglourious. Let me see where this movie's streaming. So I might have to watch that. I might have to buy that. But yeah, Death Proof. I haven't seen that. Dusk Till Dawn. Jackie Brown. Does he got more? Yeah, I mean, I would imagine he definitely needs to give us this final fucking movie in his career. I've only seen Inglourious Basterds, Pulp Fiction, The Django, and Once Upon a Time in Hollywood. Okay, that's a good list. I mean, I ain't gonna lie, that's a good list. If you've seen those movies and you're not wild about them, then it's hard to not be, you might just not be wild of his style, because those are some of his best movies. I would rather sit through a Steven Spielberg, Nolan, David Fincher films. Right, I think they're a little bit more, Steven Spielberg to me can do a little bit, he's very like Universal, like Disney And now I don't mean Disney in the sense of how I always say Disney. I mean Disney in the sense like he's been the highest grossing film director for a long fucking time at this point, right? So there's a lot of money behind him, and you can always feel it behind his films. They're usually blockbusters. Some of the other people you mentioned, Christopher Nolan, David Fincher, you know what I'm saying? Like their films are a little bit more like artistically daring or trying. I don't think Spielberg has really taken it there in a long time. Now he has innovated the genre before, especially early on, but I just think and a lot of people are talking about it. I think over the last 15 to 20 years, Steven Spielberg has kind of lost his touch. I mean, I think he may throw a lot of money at a movie, but it just don't resonate the same. It just does not resonate the same. But yeah, Zach, that's pure. Did you say you seen the Django? Oh, okay. Yeah. You need to see Kill Bill. Kill Bill's I don't care what nobody says. I don't stand up or I don't talk no Kill Bill hate. I'm sorry. I love Kill Bill. I do. So I think you should see the Kill Bill series. And then Tarantino should be dropping soon. So we'll have to see. All I know is we got to keep our eye on Tarantino, guys. He says the N-word every single movie, just like this guy elaborated here. But let me finish this. Let me stop sharing the Tarantino thing. Let me finish this Jay-Z update here.
Getting his freak bars off to match the vibe of the song, he raps about his disdain for people who hate on him and be on the internet. So my immediate thoughts after listening this morning, this new B&J collab doesn't even sniff the top 10 in their canon of songs together. And it's a far cry from his last two guest verses on God Did and Neck and Wrist. But it does sound like Hov is having fun in the booth again. He's embracing that arena rap, watch the throne flow when he raps on the Mo Bamba beat. And it feels like he's energized. Now, that being said, this new verse does have me a little worried that the God MC might be overly online. Because the one thing I don't want a new Jay-Z album to be is him just responding to online discourse for over 12 tracks. But only time will tell because Jay-Z is officially back outside. His next show is in London on Beyonce's birthday, and we might witness a rollout from both of them before then. Let me know what you think.
Yeah, I think that's a good take at the end of there because that's really my takeaway. Beyonce looking thick, yummy, LOL. I'm weak. Oh no, I didn't see any of these comments, Zach. Zodiac, Gone Girl, and Social Network are great Fincher films. Those are like more like USA Network or like a TBS type network films. You know what I'm saying? Gone Girl's great. Social Network is great. Zodiac is great. They're actually all great, kind of social, different films in different ways. But yeah, I mean it as far as like the directing, the camera work, and some of the scenes and the shots and kind of the ambiance those movies are trying to draw. They're like darker, more grim movies. Spielberg is more glossy, Hollywood, like production studio type shit. And then Nolan is more, I mean, lately he's been more IMAX. He's a visual pleaser. He's more into the aesthetics of the film and like camera shots and stuff like that. He may do a little bit of, use a little bit of literary devices like overlay or poems weaving throughout and shit like that. But majority of his film, like what you're trying to take away from a Nolan film is like his actual fucking shots. You're like, Jesus Christ, these are beautiful, beautiful shots. Now, movies like Oppenheimer was heavily dialogue based, but typically with Nolan, the last few movies, it's really been centered around his use of it in IMAX, really. He said the Django was a 6 out of 10 to me. That's hate. Zach, I got to help you with this scoring metric. I got to sit down one day with you and really help you with your scoring metric. Your scoring metric is a mess, okay? The Django's at least a 7.5, 8. Some will say 8.5. I got a bunch of movies bookmarked right now. Beyonce looking thick. I mean, I need to make a top 5 through 10 best directors list. Certainly, that's a conversation that is being had this week. I was hoping Lane was going to be on here and Hunter. They'll be in later, but some of my conversation on my algorithm this week has been people comparing Nolan and Stanley Kubrick lately. And that's a topic that we'll breach when we need to. But Yeah, I think a lot of people have said after seeing the Odyssey that people needed to kind of revise or maybe look at their best directors list of all time. Kind of the conversation's been on Nolan and his legacy and where does this film put him? You know what I mean? So it's definitely a good time. If I was reviewing movies or into that space, I would definitely be at least having some of the conversations about these great directors of all time. Hunter thought I was crazy too. Where is the Hunger review? He's at a baseball game, softball game, getting his ass fucking handed to him right now, or on his way with a big old L on his forehead. So it's like, yikes. 18 straight. I mean, 18, really? But yeah, to this Jay-Z and Beyonce thing, it's just really interesting because I agree with this dude that it feels like we might get a double decker. You know what I mean? We might be getting a double decker because Beyonce is the first kind of domino to fall. I mean, Jay-Z kind of been rolling out. We've been talking about it, covering it on here. But Beyonce with the Morning Dew song that dropped 2 weeks ago, and granted, it was a song that they reworked, which kind of alarms me. I'm not wild about them re-releasing a song that was from her in the vault, and then also Jay-Z then kind of hopping on the remix. He said, I need to watch more Kubrick films. Same with Oliver Stone. Kubrick, you should watch every one of his films. There's just no doubt about it, I mean, if you want to, I mean, a lot of people like Paths of Glory. There's The Killing. I'm not wild about that. But if you want to start at Spartacus on up to Barry Lyndon to all the rest of it, I definitely recommend that you do something like that. I mean, I think everybody should watch that. Hunter was just talking about it, how when you really watch these directors' films, especially from the start all the way to the finish, like in chronological order or some sort of, guideline of you watching their films, you really get a good understanding. And I concur to this 100% because I've done it with all Tarantino's films, Kubrick's films, Nolan's films. I'm like, let me watch their whole discography over a period of time. And you get familiar with their signature style really, really fast. It takes one or a couple movies, 2 or 3 movies, and then you're okay, I see what this director, not the script, not the actor. Sometimes it'd be about their script writing and stuff, but you can really tell their signature style, what they're good at, what they really pinpoint, what they focus on, what they're not good at, what they need to work on. But you can define their signature style. It's like a good boxer, right? Or a good fighter. They have their signature style, or even a wrestler. They got their signature move. Or a basketball player, Kobe and Mike had the fadeaway, Dirk had the fadeaway. So directors are the same, and so when you watch them all together, you can kind of hone in on their signature style faster, which is always interesting because you get a different perspective. Yep, you definitely see their growth. But yeah, I mean, and sometimes watching movies with that the director's lens, right? Some movies release the director's cuts, and which is always interesting. I like a director's cut a lot of times because it's just it gives you a different interpretation of how you're interpreting or looking at the film, right? You can look at the film for the entertainment value, whatever metric you have that is like, personal to you and what you like. You can watch a film that way. He said, I still have a few Spielberg movies left to watch and review, saving those for colder weather. Okay, yeah. All I know is Spielberg dropped the fucking ball with Disclosure. He dropped the ball big time with Disclosure. What the fuck was I just saying? I lost my train of thought. Oh, the director's cut. You can watch it from like as a fan, and then you can watch it like with the director's eyes. Like, okay, the shots that he's taking, the breaks, just all the different things, right? Every director has a dud, and then they learn from their mistakes. Yeah, I mean, and sometimes it's not in that order. Sometimes they start off perfect. It's just like any artist, right? You think of a rapper like Nas, right? He starts off hot with one of the greatest albums of all time in Illmatic, and then he's trying to follow that up the rest of his career, and he's had duds somewhere in the middle, right? So sometimes you start off really, really good, right? You hit the ground running, you're Magic Johnson, but then you run into your tribulations in the middle or at the end. it always. I agree with your point, though. Every director is going to have a mistake, or they're going to trip along the way, right? Spielberg. It's about time for Spielberg to hang it up. I'm gonna just tell you that right now. It's literally about time for Spielberg to just hang it up. I'm not saying it literally because he still has a lot to give to the genre, but he has to stop. I don't know if he's still writing scripts or still. I don't know. I mean, allegedly, yeah, there's some Hollywood shit going on with that. But he said, "Have you seen Blade Runner?" Yeah, I love Blade Runner. I love the original Blade Runner, and then I love Blade Runner 2049. He said, "I need to watch that again and review it. It's been years since I've seen it. There's multiple versions. There's a director's cut. There's an extended version. There's remastered it. Yeah, I mean, Blade Runner is one of the greatest sci-fi films. In fact, I might watch that. Blade Runner is one of the greatest sci-fi films ever created. It's so innovative, especially for its time. It's so out there. You know what I mean? So out there, and it's really an interesting time to watch a film like Blade Runner with the replicas and all that rogue AI shit. Because fear not, we're upon that time right now. So it's a great fucking time to really rewatch those. Coldplay was great until the last 5 years. Their last album was crap. I'm excited to see Spielberg's Western film. Oh yeah, what is this? And what is Spielberg's Western film? Yeah, I seen that he no, I don't want that. I seen that he was coming back. Oh, it's is it a I think it might be like a show, like a mini series. Let's see. Oh, okay. No, this is a film. Yeah, I mean Spielberg could blitz this. Spielberg. Let me see. I'm not sharing the screen here. There's a Blade Runner show coming out. Blade Runner 2099. Yep. I did see that. That'd be interesting depending on who picks it up. But yeah, Spielberg is supposed to be dropping a Western film, which will be very, very interesting. He could do some shit with that as long as the thing is, I'm just starting to feel like Spielberg might be out of touch, man. He might be so high up. He's not getting the good scripts from the good people that got their boots on the ground. He's getting these whack scripts because Disclosure Day was not good, brother. I'm sorry to tell you, Steven Spielberg, that was not a good film. And the thing that makes it worse with the Disclosure Day is, it was supposed to be a good film. He like, you can tell he tried hard and he thought it was the one. That's what makes it painful. If he sat up there and I just felt like, okay, he didn't really invest a lot of money or time into this. I think Spielberg is still in the planning stages. It probably won't come out for another 3 or 4 years. Yeah, we might not even be here. We might not even live to tell the tale. But yeah, it pains me to know that, like, you was really trying. You thought this was the one, right? You thought that this was the one, and it was like so far from it. And when that happens to an artist, either a director, any great artist, right? You're like, yikes. When they really give you their left stroke or their right hook, and they were really trying, and they try to put their best foot forward, and they felt like it was their best foot forward, and it don't land, it's always like, yikes. It's never a good thing. So yeah, I mean, we'll have to see about that with Spielberg in that Western film. But let me stop sharing the Jay-Z and Beyonce thing. Like I said, I think that, okay, Zach's spamming me. I think I was the only one in our friend group that liked Disclosure Day. LOL. Yeah, Disclosure Day is not good. I won't even continue to hardball. It's just not. I mean, you might have liked the sound or the score or something, but the actual film was just lackluster. I mean, nobody's returning to it. Here you got the Odyssey. You got fucking Christopher Nolan. Extending his IMAX run and his theatrical release of this film. I mean, we're going on a damn near going on a month. we're going on 3 weeks, and this film it continues to grow new life, man. I went to the theater a second time to see it in IMAX, and it was packed. I mean, it was absolutely packed, and people loved the film and was amazed. You know, Disclosure Day, it didn't have that same impact, and it definitely isn't of the same ilk or quality. And I know you're like, why are you comparing it to the two? Because we're splitting hairs with some of the greatest film directors of all time. Spielberg is definitely one of them, so he needs to be judged at that fucking echelon, and I'm going to judge him at that echelon every time. So he didn't deliver that. But let me finish this Jay-Z and Beyonce fucking thing. Listen, I'll fuck with Hove. I've been rooting for Hove with this whole, discourse between him and Aubrey and Rock Nation versus Nicki and all that, But I ain't gonna lie, I don't think he's even made many missteps. But I mean, he's making I wish Shane was here. I'm trying to save the conversation for Shane, but Hove done made a few miscalculations. He's had a few missteps during this whole thing, bro. The Colin Kaepernick thing, the second freestyle didn't really land. As of August 4th, 2026, Odyssey has grossed $414 million in the United States, $500 million in other territories for a total wide. Okay, Zach with the Wikipedia copy and paste. Okay, then. But yeah, I mean, it's just smashing all the box. I mean, it's smashing everything. I think Spider-Man has stepped. I mean, what a great year for fucking cinema. Great year for cinema. I haven't seen the Spider-Man film. I'll see it soon. But great fucking year for cinema. But yeah, I mean, I like that I'm not an original, but I like. I need to see the Odyssey again. I'll say that. And Disclosure Day, I never want to see again. They got the bitch on. I think they have it on streaming already somewhere. And I'm like, I'm good. I'm good, love. It's really disappointing. Really disappointing. But yeah, Hove's done had a few hiccups on this rollout. I ain't gonna lie. I mean, he's had, and I don't know, it's like a tug and war. It's like a back and forth thing too, because to start it was the Bizarre. I think the Bizarre interview he did, where he talked about wanting to get in the ring and how battle rap, the battle element in hip hop might need to die off type shit. And it was like there was a lot of like constituents. I mean, there was a lot of people like, I don't know if we're feeling that. We don't necessarily agree. All right. Then he comes back with the Roots Picnic freestyle and he's shooting at everybody. And it's like, cool. Hove's outside. He shakes up the industry. He does what Hove does. Then he does New York, Yankee Stadium. And that's a success. Then he does you had the Target story, right? With the exclusive. That wasn't good PR for Hove. And then you have the Kaepernick situation where he, releases the freestyle and he's shooting at Kaepernick saying, Kaepernick took the money and he loved that he took the money, but, I'm allowed to talk about shit still and Kaepernick's not. Which, the thing is, I think Kaepernick, the thing is, there is room to really be able to critique Colin Kaepernick. I don't think really the space has had that conversation much. I mean, we did during the time and stuff, but like it hasn't really expanded. And it seems like Kaepernick has been like granted like clemency or some shit. He's been granted like a pardonship within our community. I mean, he did do what he did. Kaepernick did do what he did, but we still don't know the merits of the deal, how much he took. And some of that is still on shaky ground. So I get it. I get Hope's angle and his point, but it didn't come off. It didn't land how he thought it was going to land. So I got to count it as a misstep. And then I ain't going to lie, you got this remix. I mean, the Beyonce and them dropping the song 2 weeks ago. I think the song is good too, but it alarms me and worries me. And Beehive, when y'all hear this clip and I hashtag y'all and it goes into y'all's algorithm, understand. Like I said, the song, I like the song. Me being alarmed is that they're using something from In the Vault so long ago. It's like, that. And, granted, y'all gonna say he's just testing out the waters, trying to, shake up the space right now until the, Big Fish really drop. But I felt the same way about Beyonce's last album. Cowboy Carter and shit is like cool. The one before that was like cool. You know, I get the artistic merit of it. I understand that y'all do perfect rollouts and the visuals and everything's good, but like, I think they're getting so far away from connecting to the actual core crux of the space that I don't know. I mean, now she'll have one or two songs on the album that really connect, but I don't know. Beyonce needs to come a little bit back left, you know, come a little bit back this way, baby. You know, they're starting to make billionaire music. You feel me? They're starting to make this Maria Abramovich like this like real fine and this fine, like it's almost like, you know, too cool for school, too good for us. Like, we know Jay-Z had got into his art capitalist bag back in, or his Renaissance era back in the 2013 era with Magna Carta, Holy Grail, and shit like that. And it's kind of up that realm, but in a different territory. So we'll see. I just feel like Hove hopping on the remix of a Beyonce song, it really didn't punch as hard as it should have. So unfortunately, Hove, gotta count this as another misstep, man. Gotta count it as another misstep. And the song is good. I don't like the remix. The remix is garbage. I'm sorry. And Hove is a great rapper. He's gonna say some slick ass shit. He got some slick ass lines in this, but I think the mixing on it's terrible. I don't know if it was officially released. If this is an official release, yeah, I'm not that wild about it. It just sounds sloppy and it sounds a fucking mess. And Jay-Z coming in on the Mo Bamba beat at the end, and he kind of sounded winded. I ain't gonna lie, Hove. I don't know, man. I don't know. Don't come outside, Hove. God MC. Don't come outside and get dotted up by Drake. Don't get lined up like this, man. If you're gonna come outside, which we're all saying that he is, this clearly, I've been saying it all year long. Everything it just points to it points to a September, a fall release, right? And then he announces the Super Bowl. I bet he drops, the Super Bowl performances have been announced in September the last couple of years, right? Since Rock Nation has been dealing with it. And I bet he announces, it with an album. You know what I mean? I bet the album and the Super Bowl announcement is going to be tied in together, right? So I think we're right around the corner for a new Jay-Z release. I ain't going to lie. But we got to see. I got to see. Like this dude said, I don't want to spend 12 tracks on a Jay-Z album, really taking swipe. But the thing when people say that, it's like, but this is what Hov always done, though. This whole kind of idea that Hov's on the internet too much, or it sounds like Hov is listening, but that's what he always does. When he drops his State of the Union releases, it's like, oh, Hov he was quiet this whole couple years, but he just learned us. He got on fucking this record, told us the shit that ain't cool, the shit that is cool. He been seeing us with our stupid little internet act, and he always got a funny way of making us feel dumb. You know what I'm saying? Or making us feel, less than, and second class. And I mean, he does it in a brilliant, funny way. I mean, I'm not mad at it. It comes off like really snobbish and rude and pretentious, but I mean, I think he means it that way, but I don't even interpret it that way. I take it as good. It's all theater, and I love it. So I love when he does that. But this whole idea that why is Jay-Z responding to internet critics? I mean, what Jay-Z have y'all been listening to the last 30 years? He's always responding to media heads or journalists or magazine members and source, and he's always responding to the narrative surrounding him. I mean, remember he said, "I ain't amazing. I said I am amazing." All that. Hov always responds to all that shit. I'm not a businessman. I'm a businessman. He said, "Who's the first in line when the Twin Towers fell?" Hov is always responding to kind of the narrative in the tabloids or internet kind of fatter around his name. That's what he does. I mean, that doesn't shock me. But I mean, typically, his last major release was with 444, and there was shots at people in the industry and all that. There was all that slap talk from Hov, but majority of 444 surrounded maturity, fatherhood, marital affairs, reconciliation, family, royalty, legacy, all that kind of stuff is what forefathers is all centered around. So I understand that the common theme through a Jay-Z song, through Jay-Z albums, is he's smacking people up and talking shit along the way. But he has had narrative-driven albums a lot too. So we have to see where it lands. But for right now, I got to say, as far as the rollout, I think he's about three out of three. I think he got three strong little moves he's made, and three mid to complete bluffs that he's had. So we got to see. I would say it's a strong rollout because it's effort. There's a lot of effort in it, but not a flawless rollout. All right, man. We know what we're here for. Let me take a little. Oh shit! I didn't mean to put that in the trash. Oops. Let's see what Joe got.
But there's so much on the left that's so insane when it comes to contradictions. One of my favorite new ones is the Mamdani grocery stores. They said, how are you going to ensure that people from New York have access to this grocery store? Well, they're going to have to show ID.
But not to vote.
Yes.
But not to vote.
But how crazy is it that your checkers game is so shitty that you're like, oh yeah, here we go. And people are like, do you know what you just did?
Yeah.
Do you know what you just did?
Put yourself a checkmate.
Jesus fucking Christ, that is the dumbest thing I've ever seen anybody say when you just got done saying that you don't.
Don't skip out on me. Come on. Let's flush this out. Oh my God.
Much on the left that's so insane when it comes to ID for voting. Show ID for voting. Saying that you don't want people to show ID for voting. Because it'll
disenfranchise them.
Especially poor people. They're talking about poor people and people of color, which are the people that you would think the poor people are the ones who are going to use your grocery stores. So you're going to disenfranchise them from getting access to your 30% off groceries.
You know what's bizarre about that argument?
They
too?
won't ask for ID. Meaning New Yorkers can buy cheap goods. But they asked him today, and that was what he indicated, that they were going to find out whether or not you're actually from New York. Well, how else are you going to do that?
You have to have ID.
I think this is just a response to the reaction, like saying that August 3rd, which is today, right?
Yeah.
Right. So this is what they said after what he said. So what he said was yesterday. So there's probably a massive blowback where people realize how crazy it is to say.
Okay, we got that.
Okay, let's do it again.
All right, we'll get to all that. Let me put you on the screen.
Robert, listen.
Where
Hold on. We'll get there. Let's slow down.
I want you to say it like you really mean it this time. From the bottom of the heart, Robert. Get into that character, loud. Scream it, Robert. Scream it.
Stop it. I said him. All right. So, Dominique's facing some backlash and some heat. Really, the conversation for me, I wanted to expound the conversation, but shit, we're here. That was my first time really in real time reacting or watching that Joe clip. I seen that he had Andrew Wilson on the podcast today. So that was my first time I was trying to internalize kind of it. But, I think, here's the thing. Back's on here. I really need to see what Lane's doing because he wanted to have this talk with you. But he's trying to act fake busy. What do we think about what's going on here? Socialism's clearly on the fucking rise. I don't know how much the American people are really paying attention to it. Now there are a lot of people that are talking about it, and hard right conservatives are complaining about socialism on the rise and trying to ring sound the alarm, trying to tell the American people that. But I don't think the American people. I think the American people are so miseducated, or so uneducated. Matter of fact, not only are they miseducated, because miseducated. We were miseducated, right? My generation. Zach. I wish Lane was over here. Man, Donnie's killing it. So my generation, we were miseducated. But we went to school. We tried in school. We paid attention. We knew all the different shit that they was at least teaching us. They was just teaching us bullshit, right? So that's miseducation. Listen, I'm 30 now, so I'm talking about the people that are in school now. They're completely uneducated. You know what I'm saying? I really am curious. I know I said it on mad strings, but I got a lot of nieces and nephews. I need to get one of their textbooks so I can go through the textbooks and see what's up to date on what the curricular is, what they're learning, and what up to what point history is reading up to. American history is like, what is their syllabus? Like, what is their curriculum? What are they teaching? That's what I'm really, really curious to see in 2026. But I feel like, when we learned government and we took government and social studies, we had to learn about the different branches of the government, obviously, but also the different forms of government, right? We didn't just learn about democracy. We learned about socialism. We learned about communism. Now, they like I said, we were miseducated a lot, but at least we kind of knew the idea of what these things represented. I don't know if the American people, like even you know, people my age or younger in my age range in the 20s, right? I don't know if they're real familiar, if they care that much about the socialists. He said all these socialists are in democratic states, so most of them will win. Now, a swing state like Michigan is another story. Abdul El Saad will lose. He thinks we deserve. I thought he won. I thought he won. I mean, I know he won Michigan, but you're saying the Senate. He said, "Fuck off, Abdul." So Zach is saying, and I'm glad we're here because this is really the conversation I wanted to have, man. They take it over. And the thing is, like I told you, or I said on my last stream, the thing is, they got a little bit. They're a lot younger, right? And they got a certain appeal to them too, right? It's not just about politics with them. Like Mandani is into the. Oh, Shane, you missed a lot, man. I already had to do my Christopher Nolan set, man. Fuck. And I wanted you to get that Christopher Nolan hate out publicly, bad. But he won the primary, but he won't win in November. Yeah, we know AIPAC spending millions of dollars to make sure that don't happen. But here's the thing, right? Let's call it what it is. Hassan Piker, Mandani, and even Abdul. They're younger, they're middle age, young politicians, obviously socialist ideas, but I'm not even talking about the ideas. I'm talking about the ambiance they carry. Mamdani will talk to you about Nas. Abdul, allegedly, you saying fuck. Yeah, man. You got out of it again, man. You got out of it again. But I'm just saying, I know girls that really ain't into politics and stuff, females that really just want to support Mamdani because they like his look, right? And politics, it scares the bitches, right? They don't care. Unless they're into politics, they really don't care about what's going on with the politics state, right? But if you got somebody like Mamdani that got a little bit of swag to him, got a little bit of sauce to his lingo, yeah, he's like really in tune to what's going on. It kind of entices them. It's kind of what JD Vance and Charlie Kirk try to be, right, for the Conservative Party. But they're doing it a lot better. So I ain't gonna lie, man. If I was y'all, Zach, I would be saying that the socialist is taking over too, because like you said, you got Mamdani, who is now an elected official, and he's doing all this shit in New York, right? And you got Abdul, who just won Michigan, which was a crazy situation going on, historic fucking win. And then, you got Hassan Piker, who's a part of this arm of their move. And the thing is, is this Qatari intelligence? Are they part of the Muslim Brotherhood? I don't know. But I will say it is a crazy time in America that we're witnessing, to where we have a real socialist in a position, and he's enacting on a lot of these ideas, right? And a lot of the American people are none the wiser. So it is an interesting story. I've been telling you guys, this is really my most intriguing political story to follow as far as domestically that we got going on in the States, because it's giving me all the elements of Gotham. It's just like, the whole New York City idea, Muslim mayor, 9/11, and it just gives me the whole feel of a whole hostile takeover, especially when you talk about, like Zach said, Hassan Piker, and Mendes' association with Hassan Piker, or his association with Abdul, right? These people, they've denied any connections with, like, Muslim extremist groups like the Muslim Brotherhood and different sects. But it's really, really, really interesting. I mean, it's just a crazy time. He said, Domini's swinging a hot bat right now. Yeah, I mean, now, Shane, you missed it. Why don't what you said on the screen? Shane, you did miss it that Joe just, we reacted to Joe. I reacted live. Joe Rogan who has Andrew Wilson on his podcast. He just reacted to Dominic. Let me see if I can play the clip again. Sorry for viewers out there, but I got to get Shane up to speed. So.
But there's so much on the left that's so insane when it comes to contradictions. One of my favorite new ones is the Mamdani grocery stores. They said, how are you going to ensure that people from New York have access to this grocery store? Well, they're going to have to show ID.
But not to vote.
Yes.
But not to vote.
But how crazy is it that your checkers game is so shitty that you're like, oh, yeah, here we go. And people are like, do you know what you just did?
Yeah.
Do you know what you
You
just
just
did?
put yourself a checkmate.
Jesus fucking Christ, that is the dumbest thing I've ever seen anybody say when you just got done saying that you don't want people to show ID for voting. Because it'll
Disenfranchise them.
especially poor people.
So here's the thing. Like I said, this is our first time, my first time kind of seeing the clip. But Zach said Mitch is still alive. If he resigns now, his seat will stay vacant until January. The whole political posturing, the political theater that's going on, I don't really care that much about, right? That's never part of my story. I mean, it's part of my story or part of my interest, but the main part of what I'm interested in seeing is the kind of the big silhouette that's being, made with the mix of all this, right? Political theater, geopolitics, tech. I like to see how it all kind of comes together. And I will say the interesting story to me is, the socialist takeover in New York City. Venture capital, not venture capitalists, but you were really the capital of America, the real capital, and the capital of the world when you talk about economics and tech and all that stuff is New York City. So to see Mamdani get his shot at it and really institute some of the things that he ran on, really go after taxing the rich and the Pierre fucking bill that he's trying to pass. Just all the different things, the government, the store that they're talking about here with the government-owned grocery store. And Zach, you can tell me all about it. The Soviet Union, the Russian bread, and all that shit, right? But it's interesting to see him try to institute this and how it really turns out. I mean, I've seen, obviously, you're going to get both sides trying to, fund different reports or different stories on the guy. But, on one hand, I'm seeing, crime had a record drop in 17 years in New York City. And, they've realized or found money that they never thought that they would find. And he's saving $500 million here and allocating money there over a 5-year span that they said that they didn't have. He got help from different people and all types of stories, right, that are positive on what Mamdani's doing. But then you also hear, this little hiccup with the the ID situation and voter ID, right? Where on one hand, everybody's like, okay, cool, we're all socialist store, right? How do you plan on preventing, like I said, Mike Johnson said he thinks Mamdani will be the next senator from New York. New York should retire in 2029. Should retire. Yeah. I told y'all he's gonna run his way right into office. He's gonna run his way right into Washington. I'm telling y'all. We need a celebrity death match between JD Vance and Mamdani, because I see not a 2028 bill for JD. I don't know, JD Vance. I don't know, man. the thing is, it's going to be real easy to pull JD Vance's pants off. JD Vance's pants is real easy to pull off. You know, the moment he gets into the political spotlight, I think he has so much connections that are so easy to uncover. And now I will say JD Vance is pretty good to me. I've always said this. A lot of people can read through all his bullshit and mascara that he wears, but I think JD Vance is pretty good at like him going like 3 weeks ago to go sit with Joe Rogan. I'm like, that was a monkey wrench. You know what I mean? That was like a really interesting monkey wrench. I'm like, now why in the fuck would he be doing that? Going up to Joe to risk his political position right now, especially with midterms coming up. But you know, obviously he was selling a book. But I thought it was a little monkey wrench thrown into what is normal for the political pundits to be doing it right now. When I seen him on Joe's show 3 weeks ago, I'm like, what in the fuck? Why in the fuck would he do that? Like, what? You know how dangerous and slippery that is. But I mean, he had to sit up there and answer a lot of the Epstein questions and admitted to them, you know, gaffing on it. I think that's what he's good at. He's kind of good at stepping on the narratives and diffusing the narratives. He don't really put them all the way out, but he addresses them enough to where it doesn't look like he's ducking the obvious elephant in the room, you know. And to that, I give him credit. I can see through a lot of JD Vance's lies, but I can see how to his audience or to that demographic, he could still be a little bit more enticing for them for a 2028 bill. So we'll see. But yeah, I mean, I think Mamdani, let's see, let me stop sharing this screen, or let me share the other screen. Mamdani's connections to Hassan Piker. Let's see, we got Hassan Piker up. Let's see. So Twitch streamer Hassan Piker, basically CIA influencer. I mean, a lot of these people you can accuse from being from Qatar or whatever. New York City Mayor Zohran Mamdani share a complex political alliance and recent friction. Piker vocally supported Mamdani's mayoral campaign. Later, Chris, blah, blah, blah. Opponents previously weaponized their association. So yeah, people have been trying to draw this association to stop Mamdani's rise, but it hasn't worked. But I just think them all being in this fear, right? This whole Zach said JD Vance won't be next president. It will either be Rubio or a Democrat. I don't know about that. I mean, I think we got to look out for Tucker Carlson and kind of that is like, you know, Liberty Party or whatever he's trying to, you know, do. I don't think it'd be Marco Rubio. I don't see that. He said, or a Democrat. That's kind of really the big crux of my conversation is that, you know, the Democrats was dead in the water last year. To everybody, to me, Hunter, Shane, you, everybody, Lane, Democrats was dead. I remember, you know, we were talking about like who's their cool guy. You know, you got AOC that try to get her white tee wet. That helped the party out a little bit, AOC, but she don't stand a fucking chance. Kamala, they're trying to potentially, you know, they're throwing shit out there saying that Kamala might run again and they're really trying to test the water, put their feet in the lukewarm water to kind of fill it out to see how the people kind of react to that idea. So we'll see. And I think it's been a lukewarm response. But the Democratic Party looked dead in the water as far as like young resurgent people that can really, he said Trump Jr. could always run. I told y'all last week that Michelle Obama is their pick, their greatest. So, you know, please don't let it be Stephen A. fucking Smith. You know, exactly, Shane. Exactly. Like, we do not want Stephen A. Smith. And I watched his Tucker Carlson interview, and he always is doing that fake thing that everybody does. You know, when they ask a nigga, like, you know, would you be president? Everybody's always fake humble. Oh, no, of course I wouldn't accept that job. No, never. Me, never. Like, please, stop. If y'all got the call to be the president of the United States, we all know that Stephen A. Smith is going to try to run. He said, I still think the Democrats are a joke right now. They are. You just don't like a lot of their policies and stuff like that. But my main point is there is a rise in not just the DSA party, the Democratic Socialist ideologies, the Bernie Sanders bears, but Big Mike Obama. Can we finally get the third party? Lane's always been excited for the third party, but you know that this don't work, man. The Democrats and Republicans been running this shit for forever. I mean, there was parties before them and all that, but and they had to fight their way for positioning. But I am interested. The thing is, I don't think a third party don't stand a fucking chance. Okay, we know that. He said Stephen A. Smith is a joke as a political person and sports person. I know, but I learned my lesson 10 years ago when I thought Trump was a fucking joke. When I seen that these motherfuckers was going to start running celebrities, I'm like, okay. Y'all's already buying off big corporations. America's already sold out to the big wigs and all that stuff. But now we're really going to hire, or we're going to fucking forefront and platform social media influencers and celebrities to run for office. It's like, that's how cheap. We can't even get real politicians in there, people that really studied into this and took law, went to law schools and just got PhDs and shit like that. No, we got to settle for fucking actors and celebrities running for office. We are fed up. The youth don't give a fuck, and they all about to die. Zach's time is numbered. The thing is, Lane, the youth don't give a fuck, and they're all about to die. But I think the second part of that statement is they don't know that part, right? They don't care about that part because they don't even care about that part. Now, the first part is they're definitely fed up. The youth is so fed up to where they've turned a whole blind eye. They just ain't participating in none of this mess. They're like, we ain't even gonna participate in y'all's little bullshit over there, right? The youth can give a fuck less about what's going on over here, right? I mean, we've seen that really with the Republican Party for a long time, and that's why they had to finally go out there and get a Charlie Kirk and a Ben Shapiro and those people, and a Nick Fuentes. I mean, who's kind of like a grifter, right? He does, whatever side's winning, he'll kind of favor for. But just those young right wing conservative voices into the whole sphere. I told you guys it's all a ploy, kind of, right? These are all hired agents and shit like that. But that whole manosphere, even the Andrew Tates and the Red Pill, right? The whole Red Pill thing was because the Republican Party, they spent lots of money into those campaigns over a nice period of time, a 10-year period, to kind of build up those right-wing voices. Now, I will say a lot of those right-wing voices did get deplatformed on Twitter back when it was my man Jack Dorsey was running it. He said, remember when Sarah Palin was considered the future? Now she's forgotten. She's horrible. She was horrible then and horrible now. And we'll only have that privilege for 2 more elections. The time is coming and both sides have holes all over. Mark my words, y'all. Yeah, I mean, the thing is, Lane, I mean, we know you're right. You can sit on that mountain and wave that flag of trying to, what's the word I'm looking for? I think everybody at this point sees, I wouldn't say everybody, maybe Zach. Zach is one of the only people that don't see it. But yeah, both of the political parties have major flaws in it, right? I mean, all the way down to insider trading, all the way down to the political theater, all the way down to the clip that we seen a couple years ago of George Bush and Barack Obama, hanging out, or the story we heard about. I can't remember who told the story, but I think it might have been Stephen A. Smith, right? Turning Point, exactly. Turning Points USA was supposed to be the new flagship company to carry the torch. Exactly. Turning Points USA was literally going to be a baby factory. It was a baby factory. They were trying to create young conservative, people and just could keep feeding that demagogue and that ideology and that machine, and they were just going to keep birthing out the Charlie Kirks, right? And they was just going to keep birthing it out. That was what Turning Point USA is. And they're still trying to be it. They're doing a horrible fucking job at it. Zach says, I don't know why my comments ain't showing up. I don't got time for this shit, man. It's always something. Let me just show it on the screen. As the Joker said, Lane introduced a little anarchy, upset the establishment. That's what's happening now. The Dems are going through their own version of the 2010 Tea Party movement. Hold on. I don't like that overlay. Okay. Yeah, I mean, the thing is, the main talk is that I just said we're kind of shocked. It was just a few months ago and last year that people were saying the Dems are dead in the water. Who are they? We were like, everybody's like, who are y'all running? Who are y'all going to run? Is it going to be Gavin Newsom? Is it going to be Stephen A. Smith? Is it going to be Dwayne The Rock Johnson? Who y'all going to call Big Mike up? Y'all going to go get Obama for Trump? Who y'all got, right? In 2024, the Republicans was running roughshod. They got the House. They got everything. They got the Supreme Court. They got everything. They got everything, right? America First. MAGA was rolling through the streets. Fuck vaccines. Gun right. All of this shit. They was on a whole high. And I ain't gonna lie, y'all. It was the Epstein list that fucked this whole thing up, by the way. But that's talk for another day. Epstein list led up. Trump stumbled right onto the Israel trap, and now here we are. But that's a topic for another day. We'll get to that. But all I know is during that time period, everybody was like, yo, I don't know what the fuck going on the left. The left swung way too far left. They looked a fucking mess. You had the one bitch from, I think, Wisconsin that got blue and pink hair. You got the trans in the White House. Just all types of just reckless, wild shit that they was doing. But now, I ain't gonna lie. Let me stop sharing this. Unfortunately for y'all, I think we are being invaded. All right. We talking about the Muslim Brotherhood, man. I've been telling y'all for fucking years at this point, where this thing is gonna bubble. And just mark my words, y'all. Mark my words. I'm always right and exact. And we can revisit this in a few fucking years. But I told you guys early on that, everything outside always is a reflection of what's going on inside, or vice versa. And what I mean by that is the whole real chessboard, the big thing going on the chessboard is that Israel, Iran, Middle East situation, right? And, both sides have been alleging, or, if you talk to right-wing people, they've been saying, you're a Qatari agent. And on the left side, it's like, no, you're a Mossad agent. Zach said the Dems don't want sensible, moderate people in the party. They want them purged and replaced with nut jobs. No, the Dems just want whatever. They're grifters, right? The Dems just want whatever the country is saying. And in some sense, they should want that, right? They should be represented, but they go too far left sometimes, right? So the Dems will come back sensible and moderate when the talk comes back to be sensible and moderate, or the people become sensible or moderate. But if they're not, then the Dems is going to go get the far leftist people that they can get, which, I think it. And me and Hunter talked about this a couple of streams ago. Like, it always swings back, right? Always swings back. The right is going to go super far right. The left's going to go super far left. Oh, brother. This motherfucker always calls me at the wrong time, man. Always calls me at the wrong time. Shall I take this call, my brother, y'all?
Hello. This is a prepaid debit call from...
Y'all give me a second.
An inmate in the London Correctional Institution. To accept...
Free my damn brother.
0. This call is from a DRC correctional facility and is subject to monitoring and recording. Utilization of an unapproved application and three-way calls to communicate are strictly prohibited and a violation of DRC policy. Thank you for using GTL.
Yo, what's up with niggas?
What's up, my boy?
What you got going?
Guess what? Don't say nothing incriminating. You're on stream. You're on my stream right now. What you gotta say?
You said I'm on stream.
You on my stream?
What, live right now?
Yeah. Ain't nobody fucking watching.
They can hear me?
Yeah.
Yeah, tell them I said free Sheedy, goddammit.
Yeah, you feel me? Hey, everybody say put it on here. Shane said free Sheedy and it was backwards. Yeah.
Yeah, free Sheedy.
Yeah, man. We going up with it, man.
Niggas is on the way.
Definitely. You and Cuz, man. Everybody tell my brother free him, man. We still out here praying for him, doing what we do. What's going on? What's going on now?
Nah, shit, just had a game that put up 55.
He's capping for the stream. You capping for the stream. 55 what?
55 points, Negro.
Oh, nah, this is cap. Come on. You gonna cap on my stream.
My word is bond to Allah, bro.
Oh, shit, hold on. That's why you had to call me. You really put up 55? You really put up 55?
What? Yeah.
Damn. Oh, man. All right, man. When can you call me back?
Probably like 9:46.
Okay, all right. Yeah, hit me back after I'm off stream. Say your last words. Hold on.
What?
Say your last words to the stream.
Free Sheedy.
Y'all heard him. All right, man. Call me back.
Thank you for using GTL.
He said, "What that weight looking like in there, Sheedy? Better be eating them weights." He's about 155. 155. He looks good. Definitely looks good. He said he dropped 55 points. We gotta see, man. I didn't even know. I thought the season was over, but they must be doing something else. I don't know. Sheedy wants his 15 minutes of fame on here. Yeah, that was totally unexpected. The Roman Francesca in Wisconsin said she left a restaurant because too many white people made her uncomfortable. She thinks we should get rid of Thanksgiving, Memorial Day, and all other holidays. Yeah, I mean, but hold on. Let me go back up to the little Lane thing. Lane said Epstein's party ain't got no sense. Zach, get off the juice. Both sides done fucked up here. This is our opportunity. Yeah, Zach, you gotta. I need Zach to 55. Damn, I gotta play some D on him. Yeah, you couldn't guard him. Stop it. He said, "Damn, okay, Sheedy." Yeah, he said he dropped 55, and he said his word was bond 55, and he called me twice, so he had to let me know he dropped 55. And shout out to my brother, man. Definitely free him. Miss him. Yeah, he's gonna call me back later, and I'll have to bring more of the details to y'all. But yeah, Zach, what do you guys say, man? Shane's calling you out. Lane's calling you out. He's been wanting to call you out about the socialist take. My main takeaway, Lane's like sliding in my back, talking about, well, when you gonna talk about your real opinion about it? Listen, guys. All right, y'all want to do it? We can do it. I agree with a lot of Mandani's policies. Hunter even said it. I agree with a lot of the policies. I think I'm on the coffee ice cream lane. LOL. Yeah. You gotta stop that. You gotta stop that nomad shit. Because I in my time of knowing you, you've switched the parties once or twice already, right? Or I would say once. And I mean, matter of fact, I would say be more of a nomad. Understand, stop tying yourself so much down to either one of these corrupt parties. We both know that they're both corrupt. They both got far left and far right people on the sides that represents the party and make the party look crazy when it's all said and done. We know they got conservatives on both sides. We know they got liberals. We understand how it all works, but y'all don't gotta so tie yourself down to these ideologies that are flawed. More times than not, they're just flawed ideologies, right? And in a capitalistic democracy, which this whole experience that we're doing, guys, is brand fucking new to the world. And I've been on my stream saying for a couple years now, I've said it in my life a long time, but at what time do we pull the plug or we write down, maybe this project doesn't work? We're $40 trillion in debt. We're defaulting on the interest in and of itself, right? We can't pay back the interest. We use our military might to bully people that we can't pay back. And that's the only thing that's kind of staving anything off, right? If China were to ask for the money that we owe, we'll have to declare bankruptcy tomorrow. He said, I think both Dems and reps are crazy. Okay, well, that's good. I like that you made that stuff clear. But I always vote for the person, not the party. Okay. Zach said he votes for the person, not the party. All right, well, we'll see. We'll see when you get J.D. Vance, Ted Cruz versus AOC and Mamdani card. We'll see. I know who you would vote for in that case. But, I mean, I listen, like I was just saying, we don't really know if this project or how much this project works. At what point when you're running a business or a corporation do you pull the plug? Is 40 trillion not the number? Is it reconcilable? Can we come back from a $40 trillion deficit? Can we get the deficit under control? I'm old enough to remember Trump was promising us getting the deficit under control. Anybody remember that? Anybody else remember that? I thought the whole tariffs. What about the trade war? Anybody remember the trade war? That was a fun time. The trade war. Oh my God, tariffs. Oh my God, 10% tariffs, 40% tariffs on the global market. It flopped. China called our bluff. North Korea called our bluff. Places with rare earth minerals just called our bluff. They called our bluff. Said please. And so I mean, I don't know what you guys think, but I'm going to get painted as a leftist, liberal extremist for saying this, but I've been saying y'all either listen. I don't associate myself with all of it, but y'all either better try a different fucking game plan. Let me tell you what, Phil Jackson won 12 rings, but if he went, if Phil Jackson never retired and is still coaching up to this point, and he went 16 straight years trying to run that damn triangle, and he was losing every fucking year and looking humiliating and doing it, I would say, you know what, Phil, times might have changed, dog. You might want to change your approach. He said, just another lie. How can Zach explain to the youth not to run to the opposite side? This is a train wreck, dude. I don't know what that means, Lane. How can Zach explain to the youth not to run to the opposite side? This is a train wreck, dude. I'm not really interpreting that real good, but yeah, I mean, I think that a different approach is definitely needed. Trump done got his bluff called so much this year. Them tariffs was a joke. China laughed in our face, big time. That Shane, you're right. I mean, really, the takeaway this year, well, Trump has been on a humiliation ritual stretch for about, at least a year now. I would say at least a year. It was about this time last year the Epstein thing was bubbling up and embarrassing him. Zach said, okay, if the Dems did not have nut jobs, I would vote for some of them. But they're going too nuts for me right now. Get back to the middle. I'm not mad at that take, Zach. That's a safe take for you. I'm not mad at that take. We all agreed that they did go way too far left, man. When they start, the whole transgender bathrooms and all that shit, and I don't give a fuck if y'all get on this stream talking that dumb shit with me. Save it, man. Y'all ain't, there's not enough MK Ultra or Agent Orange in the world or acid or LSD in the world for y'all to get me to be delusional enough to start believing that that sick shit that y'all was trying to push onto the kids and everywhere and onto the public was going to ever, resonate as normal over here. It was never going to happen, okay? He said, I agree. We need to get to the middle, but exactly like Shane said, the right is in shambles. All the kids watching, why would they vote for 4 more years? I agree with that. I think the right, and a funnier conversation is like, the left been beating the hell out of y'all too, physically too. They've been shooting y'all niggas. They've been shooting the right up. And I know the right is always like making empty threats like, well, y'all, the leftists are extremist killer, mass shooters, shoot up schools, shoot up Thomas Robinson and all this, shit going on. And the right is like, dog, if we really send out our people, y'all gonna be crying wolf. So, but I'm just saying, if I'm just judging it the last couple 6 years or so, really last 10, 15 years, the right wing movement, y'all kind of whack. I ain't gonna lie. Y'all was supposed to blitz. Y'all got 2024. Y'all supposed to get in here and blitz. And y'all ain't even been doing it right. I ain't gonna lie. Y'all been having y'all's little agents out there, the right wing extremists out there, supposed to be, you had your Chud the Builders who's in jail. You had your Charlie Kirk project. We talked about this. We talked about this already, right? And I mean, they got influence and impact. Andrew Tate somewhere up in Romania in a cage with a lion. I don't know. The whole red pill movement, the right wing extremist influencer movement, it was cool. Saying the N word and taking the N word or taking, white guilt back and all that stuff. It was cool. But I mean, the left been beating y'all's ass. I mean, let's just be honest. The left in the last 10 years, they tore up Target. They had mad race riots. They burnt shit down. They've, it's the lesser of two evils for a lot of people right now. They vote Republican. See, y'all love that ping pong game. I don't get involved with that hamster wheel shit. I don't even play like that because the Dems are nuts. People vote Dems because the Republicans won't say Biden won in 2020. They're sore losers for sure. Yeah, and that whole situation with Trump just needs to get over that. When was the last time it was genuinely wasn't the lesser of two evils? Obama and Romney? No, they hated Obama too. They hated Obama too bad. And that was the start. As a matter of fact, Shane, we know that was the start. This timeline that we're on, this train that we're on that's getting ready to derail, this derangement fucking train that we're on, it started with the hate for Obama. In the age of information, the kids don't give a fuck about American pride, conservative shit. We see America been fucked. Why would we want to go back? I'm not Democratic, but goddamn, why would we want this? Yeah, I mean, honestly, guys, both parties are so bad that we already know how this is going to work. I don't even know why. Listen, political theater is fun to watch, but I don't even know why. We shouldn't get so caught up in the ideology of it. We all know that when either party gets in office and they give us that shit 4 years that they're going to give us, it's going to swing far back the other way. Shane said, "Live mad." So yeah, I think you're right now that I think about it for sure. They was mad as fuck about Obama, and then it's been that tit for tat shit. Hulk Hogan, it's been tit for tat, tit for tat, tit for tat, tit for tat. But yeah, at the bottom, at the end of the day, I think the Republicans can get in office. They're going to give us a shit 4 years. So it's going to swing far back left the next 4 years after that because they've done such a shit job. Then you get Joe Biden in there. He does such a shit job that it's like, oh my God, the rest of the country is like, get these niggas, get these motherfuckers out of office. We're going back right. Because that feels like the middle, right? When these parties swing so far left or right, the middle feels like the other side. It was there for Bill Clinton. Republicans hated him. They thought he represented the 60 craziness. Mitch hated Obama the most. It was crazy time. But guys, I believe that the DSA movement is associated with the Muslim Brotherhood, and I think it's just a story we got to keep our eye on, man. And granted, I'm not mad at all. Allah, wake ba, wali la la la. I'm not mad at all. I think the hostile takeover, or it's not a hostile takeover, but the form of takeover that they're doing is really, really interesting to watch, man. We just seen the invasion. Just like for the juice boxes, the jig is up. I was going to try to go whole pot without calling them out, but there's that. But like I said, we've seen the invasion in Spain. The right, the conservatives have been accusing the immigration crisis really being a shield for a Muslim invasion for a long fucking time. He said, and he's banned. Exactly. Let me see. Yeah, so You got the invasion of Spain, you got the influx of the immigration crisis, where a lot of, in fact, that's where a lot of you can make the case, that's where a lot of the DSA or a lot of the liberal movement stem from, straight from the migration crisis, right? I mean, you think of the Muslim Brotherhood that we had up on the screen, which is a strong political movement started a long time ago over in the Middle East, that kind of made its way over into the States at this point, right? And you know, you get your you get some of your left wing movements and organizations that kind of stem from a lot of those radicalized movements of the early 30s, even before the civil rights movements. So I think that, and it's all, this whole idea of Trump running on the ICE thing, and the American people told y'all how bad they want the Muslims and the Mexicans and the Haitians, and all those communities out of the country, because they really don't know who's who, right? And now, obviously, here at my channel, we know that there's some flaws in this ideology and this thinking, because I begged the question earlier: A, do we know if this experiment works? And B, how much of this experiment can you show me has worked without the help of immigrants? Even if we're talking about the Anglo-Saxons, right? Just the people from Germany and Europe and Russia and all. Even if we're just talking about them, point to me the time in history so I can be up to date on it, to where this project, Manifest Destiny, the expansion, the cotton mill, America turning into a superpower, and refresh my memory in history where that time was working without immigration. Even if the Anglo-Saxons and stuff just got the country back, and it was Make America Great Again, America First movement, and it was an ethno state, right? Even if it was an ethno state, can y'all present to me the evidence of that functioning and working properly? Because I don't remember it, right? So that's really one of the flaws with the immigration crisis, where it's kind of like the snake eating the tail. It's kind of one of the things. Now, I'm not somebody that's saying I'm not anti-borders and all that silly ass shit that far left people been doing, but they've been playing a funny game on y'all. They've been throwing that ideology out there just to kind of soften everybody's stance on it. Because the people on the far right that are super extreme on it, to where they want to, like Hitler, that want to exterminate, people that come in of different ethnicities. Like, absolutely, right? So there's the extreme pendulum of that ideology, and I get it. But countries do need to have strong borders. Obviously, I don't think that these should be some hot takes. I mean, obviously, with the invasion of Spain is now working on their border crisis and their border control, because the influx of 60,000 Moroccan people over into Spain tore their ass up over the weekend, right? Now, granted, there's a lot of political posturing involved in this situation too. And I want to see if I can find the video, because I don't know if people in here, I'm sure Zach's seen it, because this is a big story. Spain last week, and I didn't get to cover it much. I don't know if y'all can see my screen. And by the way, what I'm about to show on the screen is real. So bear with me. This is real. Here. Can y'all see? No. All right. There we go. All right. So this is what happened. I mean, it's like floods of people. What? I want to migrate. What a fun. Whoa. Okay, let's see what we got here. All right, so that's at the border. That's over by Ceuta, where they're flooding.
Dios mío de mi vida.
crazy thing. I mean, I got a lot of fucking kind of a lot of thoughts on the whole situation, on the immigration crisis in and of itself, like the big umbrella part of it, but also this actual influx of immigration. Zach said the problem with the whole legal or illegal immigrant stuff is that it can lead to a housing problem. Look at all the nice chunks of land that Springfield tore up to build more houses. Yeah, I understand the repercussions of flux of immigration. I understand. I'm saying the idea in and of itself is kind of like it's a paradox. It's a thing to where it's one of those karmic things. He said they might turn abandoned fast food restaurants into houses at some point, for sure. Yeah, I mean, I think countries need borders, but I think the whole idea is where, like, America continuously has to face her own karma, and she doesn't want to pay any of her karmic debts. So, right, like, America is built up off of the backs of immigration, right? So on one hand, she reaps the benefit of immigration, but on the other hand, she has to reap what she sows, right? So, you know, what's the saying? Like, done, right? So we've lived and we've benefited and reaped all the benefits and livelihood of you know, off the backs of immigration. So that same way, we're going to be destroyed. You know what I mean? That's just how these things work, right? And it's usually because there's loopholes that are found in these ideologies, right? And once an ideology has a loophole, then it literally becomes a snake eating its tail. And I think the immigration situation is the exact same thing, right? It's the snake eating its tail, right? We're the land of the free, home of the brave. We're really the true promised land. We invite all the foul. We invite, you know, we're the resting spot for the rest of the world, right? When all hell breaks loose in your country or in your, you know, we're supposed to be that land, that idea that's out there to run to America, right? And the whole TPS was started in 2010 when the earthquake in Haiti happened. TPS was only supposed to be temporary. It was never supposed to last 16 years. Yeah, I understand all the framework in the background of it and how, you know, it started and where it's led to. I understand. I'm just saying that, Mother Lane, okay, beautiful. Mother of the exiles, right? And so with that kind of being America's marketing and kind of the house of cards that she was built on, it's not coincidental that that's the same way that she's being corroded from the inside, right? You know, again, once people find loopholes in these laws, which Spain had to find out, right? Because the situation with the Spain thing is that, you know, there's some political posturing there going on. There's some other foreign agencies involved. We know one of them. We won't say their name here, but we know this same foreign group is always involved in damn near everything. And then you got the United States obviously involved, but, you know, essentially they just had softened their immigration laws like the day or two before, basically saying that people seeking asylum, if they make it to the shores or this border right here, through swimming or what, then they're granted asylum, right? And they're granted due process. Even if they're captured due to immigration, they're granted due process. So I don't think it was ironic. Some people allege that Israel and U.S. helped, you know, kind of set this up, but there was an influx of 40 to 60,000 immigrants that flooded into the gates all together, right? So the further left political parties across the globe go, the more people will drift to the right. Yeah, and same on the other side. Far right you go, they're going to drift to the left because the left becomes the center, or the right becomes the center if you go far right. It's just common sense. So I don't know why people be all up in arms about that. Again, this whole immigration thing, and again, these are Muslim immigrants seeking better life. Some really might have a case for asylum. We'll have to see how it all turns out. A lot of them have been sent back. There's been a lot of F's in this thing, but I think like I'm trying to paint this vignette. I'm not doing a great job of it, but my main thing is that, do you see the takeover? Do you see it? Sharia law coming soon. Sharia laws upon us. You guys will all bow down to Allah and pray 5 times a day. If not, you'll be fucking beheaded. Don't you see? Don't you see the rise of Islam in the West? Don't you see that it's the fastest growing religion in the world? Don't you see that Islam is on the rise and Christianity's on the fucking decline? Listen, guys, I'm just the arbiter of the truth. I'm just here to tell you. I'm just here to tell you what I'm seeing objectively, right? And I told you guys, Shane talked about it earlier, like with Turning Points USA. Zach said, I like the whole pendulum swinging back and forth. I just don't want it to swing too far to the right. And then Lane said, banned again. I'm bidding it. He said, banned again. Listen, I'm just saying, bro. I'm just saying you got Mamdani rising to power. You got Abdul. Let's look into Abdul. Abdul. Where's his name? Abdul El Sayad winning. Let's see what I can come up with. Zach says he does not win a seat. He wins Michigan, but he doesn't win the seat. But I mean, I think the conversation seems to be, you got people mad as hell that these socialists continue to. Everything that living down here has done for me is make me realize how normal immigration really is. I know so many people that are here in result of someone sneaking in and they just don't have. He's gonna finish that. Oh yeah, I mean, Shane, you're literally at the border. They just don't have papers now. Kind of wild how normal it is, and that their parents were just seeking better opportunity for sure. I mean, it's a sad thing, especially when you talk about Latin America and kind of where you're at, those areas, right? Now, when you start talking about, I mean, even when you're talking about Spain and Morocco and North Africa and some of that region, or even, the Japanese that, came over here and got reparations. And I didn't mean to roll my eyes. And the Germans, I mean, literally, this country is we're literally the land of immigrants. That's what America means. I mean, that's what America is. It's the land of immigrants. It's immigration. Obviously, none of us are native here. We're all immigrants here. So, yeah, but when you're talking about Latin America and where you're at, Shane, that's a no fucking brainer. I mean, matter of fact, you're the alien. They like, you from up north? You from up north? Okay, what's it like up there? You know what I mean? Like, you're the alien to them. All down where you're at and further down south is normal for them to be kind of, coming across that border and seeking better opportunity. But I mean, the main takeaway, guys, like socialism is on the rise. And I think like me and Zach was on here before everybody got on, just the fact that socialism is like here in the political sphere, like it's literally in politics, like it's kind of crazy. We never got to see the Bernie thing fleshed out. Bernie was always a dream, right? But these are I call them Bernie's bears, right? These are Bernie bears, right? The Democratic, the DSA movement and stuff like that, that's straight out of Bernie Sanders' camp. When you start saying abolish ICE, abolish prison, abolish the police, and abolish the border, it's just wild. People think we're reserved 9/11. What? This is who the Dems are nominating, Lane. Put that back on the screen. Zach, I think you'll face some pushback on now abolish ICE, abolish prison. Yeah, it's definitely a far left kind of ideology. And I think a lot of people like that are basically just saying, America, let it fall, let the chips fall where they may when it falls. Let all the rules go and let it hang in balance, right? That's essentially what they're saying when you're talking about abolishing immigration police, abolishing the prison system, abolishing, and the LGBT stuff has gone nuts too. Yeah, I mean, but I just think it's the pot calling the kettle black. That's the problem that I have with the political sphere and the political positioning that everybody tries to take, because it's like, okay, but we got to start discussing the ideologies of manifest destiny and the American dream and what the forefathers imagined this country to be. We were built on a trick card. Like the conservatives sound so crazy. You know what I mean? Again, it's like I said, it's literally the pot calling the kettle black. It's like, dog, this was built on a stack of trick cards. Like it was never going to stand on these lies like that, right? You know, it's a country of immigrants, you know, welcome immigrants of all sorts, mainly, you know, Anglo-Saxons, right? You know, that same posturing, that same ideology is going to be to your detriment somewhere down the line in your country's history. That's just the way this works, right? And as far as, you know, people saying we deserve 9/11, I will say, here's what I got to say to that, right? Obviously, there's 3,000 innocent people that, you know, lost their lives in 9/11. I think that is a travesty. Some of them even abolished the presidency, Congress, the Supreme Court, the Senate, and the House. Get rid of holidays. It's just a wild time to be alive. Yes, I can't imagine. Listen, man, it's up to the political space and some of these people of the legislative branch and even the judicial branch. I think we can lay the responsibility right at their feet. You know what I'm saying? If the people are saying that, Zach, listen, we were ordained the right to, didn't represent the people. If they did certain things, you know, they were not acting as your, you know, your eye in the sky. They're not supposed to govern you. So if the people are saying that to let it all fall, then hey, that's on them. That's on them for not holding up their end of the bargain. Clearly, that means that they have done stuff over a period of time to piss the people off, to not really be representing the people, right? Their job, they are supposed to be working on behalf of the people, but no, we're seeing them get all types of rich. We're seeing them do insider trading. We're seeing mad corruption. We're seeing clear scandals go unpunished. Obviously, the Epstein thing was a big one. We're seeing forever wars or wars that was promised to us turn into forever wars. I don't know how much more the American people have to see until y'all realize what I've been saying, that at some point we have to come to terms with the idea or the fucking conclusion that the government it's been a hostile takeover of government, and we might have to fight them for our independence. You know what I'm saying? And y'all can say this is a radical idea, but I mean, there's mad movies about it. And there's, he said, Drudge Report, New York Times, Politico, and Bear Bay are my go-to news sources. Those are not good news sources, Zach. I'll give you the plug on news sources. You need something like Ground News, stuff like that, to where you can check, you can reference the sources and also see how moderate the takes are. So on Ground News, hey, Ground News, if y'all out there, give me a fucking sponsorship ad. You got people on there selling underwear and selling all types of shit. I can be one of those fucking ad sponsors. Give me that check. I'll talk to my 4 or 5 viewers, and I can get more people plugged into Ground News. He said, I mean, the founders did say that when the government gets out of control, we have the right to overthrow. One could say that happened. No, so that was that's what they thought they was doing on January 2021. But the founding fathers was right and exact. You have that right, man. You have that designated, alienated right, because, dog, I said it yesterday on stream. Y'all tell me the time in history, whether it be fiction or nonfiction, y'all tell me the time in history that a powerful government wasn't working against the people. Tell me a time. Tell me a time where there wasn't high government corruption, you know? Whether it's democracy, whether it's a theocracy, whether it's a dictatorship, every story ends in the same way. Fight for their independence from the government because it ain't working out. It's like dog, y'all ain't representing it. And finally, we've arrived. The swamp is huge and can't just be drained and can't be repaired. Yeah, I agree. And he said a Canadian news site staff, LOL. Exactly. I mean, if you want to talk about New York Times and Politico, you should look into the origins of those political news sources. It might just lead to foreign lobby. So yeah, but yeah, Shane or Lane, I agree. I mean, it's just so much. It's exhausting. I will say, my parents' era in politics, my grandparents' era in politics, it's like pish posh. It was boring. It was whack. I mean, objectively, we live in the best time, at least for political theater. I think Donald Trump retaining political figure we've seen. I think the time and all of the pieces on the chessboard that are happening are some of the craziest times. Obviously, the wars breaking out. We've never seen some of the shit we've seen. We just never seen it. We've gotten to live through live conspiracies in real time. Like we always grow up hearing about JFK and all this and all that, but like no, we've gotten to like really live through the motherfucker, right? And see the end results of the shit going on, right? And it's interesting to watch. It's definitely interesting to watch. A lot of people do not vote because they think our country was bought and sold since 1776. That was George. Oh, okay, Zach knows about George Carlin. And it was. Bought and paid for. We've been bought and paid for. Bought and paid for. I'm sorry. It's just bought and paid for. Let's see what else we got. Let's see what else we got, guys. So you're entertained by this shit. I'm offended. I don't know if Lane is talking about me or he said, oh, okay, he's talking to me. He said the news is never dull, which is fun. See, you're entertained by this shit. I'm offended. I get it, Lane. You have a daughter. I understand. But I always tell you, you take shit to the heart too much. You personalize too much shit anyway that don't got nothing. This don't got nothing. I told you what we need to be doing. It has everything to do with you, but it has nothing to do with you, dog. We're not going to be able to stop the corruption. We know it's existing. We know it's happening. Like, dog, position yourself to rule over the ashes when this shit goes ring around the rosy. That's all you can do. Just try to position yourself in the best way possible. But like, you know, it was written. Like I said, it was built on a card, a bad deck of cards, right? It was built on that. So, like, come on, bro. Like, everybody is so in denial of facing the karma that is owed to us. It's like, dog, it is what it is. It is what it is. And I ain't going to spend a lot of now, I will stop little small shit like these flock cameras and the data centers that y'all can thank me once again. He said, no matter who is in there, nothing changes. I'm still going to vote, though. And that's your God-given right. But I mean, these are the people. I really better stop playing with them, right? I really better stop playing with them. But everything is loading so slow. Let me really stop sharing. I had enough. You're gone, Spielberg. You're gone. Hassan Piker. You're gone. Man, I started this yesterday, and this is when the stream cut off. But I think. I really think the scariest thing going on is really the technocrats to me, because man, this is just getting so out of hand, man. It really is getting out of hand, and I think that they're able. All the political gesturing and political theater we talked about earlier is allowing the Sam Altman's. Now, I will say, we'll talk about the AI bubble and all that shit, but it's allowing them at least to be able to posture enough to get some of these things. Like, it's really taking like civil liberties and grassroots movements to stop a lot of these technocrats. I mean, even like the flock cameras, right? You know, they got banned in Dayton, banned in different states, and then Urbana doing their thing with the moratorium, with the data center. Like, it's taking like grassroots movements to really stop them. When the government should really be, this is overreach, right? And the government should be protecting us from for our social liberties and stuff like that from a lot of these companies, right? I mean, there's no reason that Palantir should be, now granted, we all know that they're a branch and an arm of the CIA, but the fact that they're able to slide this shit in right up under our nose is really what's bothersome to me, because that's where it gets tricky, bro. And the one thing I remember Hunter showing me, it was years ago, there was an episode on Black Mirror, and there was a couple episodes on Black Mirror, but one of them was like somebody, the dude shrunk, the dude got shrunk, and I don't know, but I never liked the idea of a surveillance state. All right, that's always been like my biggest fucking fear, is like a surveillance state or any of that kind of ideology. I watched early on. I told you guys, I've been telling you guys for a while. There was a movie, and it was straight up the Left Behind series kind of shit, but it wasn't called that. I think it was called the End Times or something. But essentially, like, the Antichrist rose, the mark of the beast was going around, and the Antichrist was using like technologies to kind of like blackmail regular civilians into taking the mark of the beast, right? Or they were using like your greatest pleasures and shit like that to take you into accepting the mark of the beast. And he said, Trump and Zach love that shit. Smile for the camera, Mr. Stewart. But the whole idea, and Big Brother terrifies me, right? Big Brother like absolutely terrifies me. The nanny state, the idea of the nanny state absolutely terrifies me. Just that idea of full totalitarian control drives me crazy, because I'm somebody with such a loud mouth, and I don't feel productive unless I'm running my loud. That is not particularly true, but in this space, I like to feel like I'm ringing the alarm, even though I'm not moving a fucking needle in real life. But I like to at least feel like I'm ringing the alarm, or at least I like to feel like I'm allowed to look at another side of the story or into conspiratorial world. But like when you talk about total surveillance state, and when you talk about a nanny state, when you talk about the Stasi in East Germany, let me show y'all something, what they was doing in East Germany. Let me see. Everything's loading. That's too long. Hold on. We're gonna share my screen. But this is the shit that we're like, right, getting ready to deal with. So the Stasi, formerly known as the Ministry of State Security, was the official state intelligence service and secret police of Germany, the GBR, from 1950 to 1990, operating as the shield and sword of the party, maintained absolute communist control through pervasive domestic surveillance, psychological intimidation, and so basically Big Brother shit, right? So informant network, I think that this is really interesting. It relied on roughly 91,000 full-time employees, between 170 to 200,000 unofficial civilian collaborators. So 91 official employees, but over close to 200,000 unofficial civilian collaborators that will act as spies on neighbors, colleagues, and family members, right? So what a psychological operation. Oh shit, y'all can't even see what I have. That's embarrassing. Hold on. Why isn't it not showing y'all? Can y'all see what's on my screen? I'm gonna get out a lot of this. Hold on, guys. Because my whole shit is like loading super slow. And that's not good. He said, I don't want cameras following us all the time. I want privacy. Yeah, I mean, that's one of the greatest American fights that, people are putting up and have always put up. That's always been a lot of Americans' number one no-no. We need privacy. I don't want our lives to turn into the Truman Show. Exactly. Like we're some fucking guinea pig on some show that's being surveilled every step of the way. And, y'all are letting them, y'all are getting so caught up in the political posturing of these parties that y'all are letting them slide this shit in. You know, you got the hard right conservatives, like, let them use fucking flock cameras because it's how we detain, the Mexicans for ICE and the Haitians for ICE. We want them out of our countries. Trump ran on mass deportation and he won 60% of the vote, and this is what the American people want. So, y'all are allowing the political theater to fucking allow them to sneak this shit in, and y'all already know where this turns, You already know exactly where this turns, Palantir takes a contract, they're working with ICE, they're now they're working, with local jurisdictions and federal jurisdictions, but it doesn't never stop there, right? But I mean, yeah, I think shit like this is really scary. You talking about 200,000 people that are working as colleagues, neighbors, family members, and spies. You know what I'm saying? I always knew Lane. I told you I got my eye on you. If there was gonna be one of us that was a spy that was being nosy and reporting back to an intelligence agency, who do you think it'd be? Hunter. This whole time. This is it. What is the fucking movie that we was just talking about with Kevin Hart and Ice Cube? I think it was called Central Intelligence or some shit like that, right? That's Hunter, right? He's posing as this, this guy that's all cool and down, and he's just collecting all the information and turning it right back in. Yeah, my Muslim extremist best friend. But yeah, I mean, this is what we're headed at if we're not careful. And I promise, I heard shit about Clark County and the flock cameras a while ago. He said, what the fuck? Yeah, the Stasi in East Germany was brutal. So accumulated files on approximately 6 million people, over 1/3 of the entire East German population, detailing minute aspects of citizen private lives and suspected nonconformity, psychological destruction. I think this is really interesting. This psyop they ran. It's called Zersetzung. It used hidden wiretaps, open mail, illegal break-ins, and psychological warfare tactics. Like, it would spread out damaging rumors to quietly ruin the reputations of career dissidents. But they also would do shit like break into your house. You lived alone, and they would break into your house and like steal one of your shoes, or move something on the wall, move your pictures around, or they would like totally redo your whole living room, right? And so now you're thinking you're going fucking crazy. You think you're literally going crazy. So just really imagine. And I mean, and obviously our government, our CIA has done covert operations on the masses of people to high heavens, right? I mean, we know that. But my main takeaway is like, this is what like surveillance state looks like, right? Inferior government, totalitarian control. And we gotta be on our P's and Q's about it. I waved the fucking flag last year or a year and a half ago telling you guys about these data centers. I spent every time on the streams telling you guys we got to do something about these data centers. And sure enough, they come right to our shores in Clark. And I'm talking in Clark County. I'm talking in Springfield, Ohio, right? So same thing. The flock cameras are here. The TPS has been expired. It's expired. And today is actually the final day, and Trump is talking about sending ICE and shit to Clark County, Springfield, Ohio. And I seen the flock camera. So again, it's obviously going to make it easier for them to track these, illegal immigrants, but it doesn't stop there. Y'all think I told y'all years ago, the toothpaste don't go back in the tube. Once that ball gets rolling, it never goes back. You think government overreach just ends there? They use it for fucking detecting license plates and to be able to run the database center of all somebody's information. You think it's just going to stop there? You really think that? We've seen how that happened with COVID. So we got to be on our P's and Q's about this shit. It's getting really alarming. And there's your two guys, right? There's your two guys. And I said yesterday, I mean, I don't want nothing to do with Mr. Peter Thiel. anything that he got. Matter of fact, I need to look up all the list of things that he's associated with Mr. Palantir and stuff. Because like I told you yesterday, it looks like literally like a spirit or like a flesh-eating zombie or a demon is trying to teleport outside of his body every time he talks. You can see it in his forehead. You literally see it in his forehead now. Look in his eyes. Does he look human to y'all? I mean, be for real. These motherfuckers is crazy, man. These motherfuckers is crazy, and it's these tech oligarchs, man, and they're so funny because they'll push it. People think they're all associated with a party or Peter Thiel's only associated with JD Vance and only funded JD Vance. Oh, stop it. What these tech oligarchs have been doing, including Elon Musk, whoever they see winning, they're gonna fund both sides. They learned the game. They're gonna fund both sides. And they're going to let the two boxers box, and whoever wins, they're going to closely hug up on. Elon Musk is making a damn mess of himself. I mean, outside of crashing a fucking rocket onto the moon, I mean, Elon Musk is back pandering with the Israel lobby, and I mean, unbeknownst to him, but, you know, we seen Elon Musk moves up to the Trump administration and get into the White House with Doge and flop it all up, and then get mad at Trump for getting ousted and kicked out. We still don't know. Anybody know what happened with Elon Musk and the black eye? Anybody? Anybody know whatever happened with Elon Musk and the black eye? We still rolling with the story that it was his 2-year-old kid. He's all in, you know, then he's begging on the Epstein files. Then he coming out trying to defend. Elon done got away with a lot in the last year and a half. Me and Shane been clocking him, right? You know, Tesla and his companies get evaluated at over $1 trillion, and then in the media, I think it's only he lost $400 billion since that announcement, right? So, but Elon, you know, when people start burning Teslas in the middle of the streets and shit like that, Elon kind of backed away. He still gets on X and complains every single day and does this little sleight of the hand shit that he does, but I don't be thinking we returning enough national spotlight. Mark Zuckerberg. What Jay-Z and Kendrick say? I was gonna kill a couple rappers, but they did it to themselves. They suicidal. I ain't even had to help or whatever. Sometimes you give them a rope and watch them hang themselves. So Zuckerberg already done it to himself. He's out of here, right? Meta flopped into flop, right? Sam Altman's right on that path of about to meet the same fate as Mark Zuckerberg. I mean, I'm literally talking about open AI, open source AI, and some of the models, the rogue open AI stories that we're getting. The AI bubble is not looking good. The investment is down. Not only that, but Sam Altman is asking for more government contracts, more money, lobbying for more money because, I mean, we invested like 3/4 of the economy, I think, was on the shoulders of the AI investment, right? So we're in really a nice pickle, right? You know, you got the Stargate project, you got all these data centers being built across the nation, but then you're having all the outreach. I mean, you're having all the pushback, right? And a lot of these states are pushing back and fighting back hard. But the problem is that we're going to face is that if this was an AI bubble, which it is, and we don't get these investments, don't go through, and Sam Altman and all these different people aren't able to make that money back, it's not going to be good for the economy either, man. It's not going to be good. I mean, we got people that invested billions and trillions of dollars into these projects that are supposed to be coming down the pipeline. But, you know, as we the people, if we fight and push back and they flop, these investors are going to be out of a lot of capital, right? So I mean, we'll see. But like I said, I ain't buying anything Peter Thiel's selling. I can tell you that I ain't buying anything he's selling. This motherfucker, yeah, I'll say that. Not buying anything elongated Musk is selling. I ain't gonna lie. I really was interested into the Starlink. I ain't gonna lie. I thought Elon snapped. And all them planes falling out the sky, the Starlink and all that shit. Story for another day. It made me think about Bill Gates. Somehow I was thinking about Bill Gates, but we'll see. We'll see, man. I pretty much covered. Let me see if there's anything on the list. Let me see if there's anything on the list that I missed. Do you guys got anything that y'all want to get off y'all's chest before I get off here? Because it's getting to be that time. But yeah, man, I'm not wild. SEC 224, the Nimbus Project, the merging of the Israeli lobby. Sorry, y'all thought, I got all the way through, but now I got to do what I got to do. But the merging of the Israeli lobby with our technology, not a fan of. We know that they've been spying. They're the classic professional snoopers. They've been spying on U.S. presidents and Congress people and civilians for a long time. And then they've also shared that information. Not only have they been doing it, but they've shared the information with the USA, and they've also given us the technologies to be able to do it against our adversaries, right? That was part of some of Edward Snowden's the leaks, right? He said, change the battery in that damn smoke alarm. I haven't heard it beep once. That's hate. It's pure hate. The problem that I'm having is the fact that this computer is lagging so much. Like it's lagging bad. But yeah, I want y'all to look into thing like Pegasus. Y'all should really look into Pegasus. Y'all remember last year? Okay, I heard it beep. Y'all remember last year the exploding pagers? Some people allege that Charlie Kirk got his whole neck situation is a part of the that there might be intelligence agencies that got exploding mics, which would be interesting. You got all these influencers like myself out here that want to get on these mics and sit around and talk. Well, we got a technology for y'all. Exploding mics. Gonna shoot you right in the fucking neck. Y'all keep talking. So, these people are good. Top of the line. But yeah, as far as America goes, I'm telling y'all, we got to keep our eye, obviously, on the data centers. Y'all been doing a good job at that. Everybody's been complaining about the rising cost of their electricity all of a sudden. When I've been telling y'all that for 2 years now, that we should have been getting groundwork laid to stop that. Because once these $1 billion get invested, once the ball gets rolling, once y'all start seeing buildings and construction, it's already too late. Fuck y'all about to do. Unless we're going to get the people that's going to tie themselves to the trees with the chains, like the Dakota pipeline, unless we're going to get Pocahontas and Mulan situations and Tarzan situations, the tree huggers, it's already too late. Once you start seeing it come to a city near you, that means the contracts, the zoning's been passed, the building permits have been passed. Once the contractor's working on it, baby, they already went through all the loops. It's over. So we got to be getting on the groundwork. And I'm telling you, all these SWAT cameras is here. Peter Thiel and mass surveillance is upon us. And it's not Springfield. I'm just saying, I'm making Springfield aware because we seem to fall asleep at these things, and we got to fight back. You got cities like Dayton fought back. All right. You got some of the grassroots movements. In I think Virginia and Massachusetts and other places that have already fought back on, especially, you're talking about rural areas that with a lot of farmland and stuff. They've already fought back at some of the surveillance state and Palantir and the flock cameras. Absolutely, they're like, absolutely not. That shit is not coming to our state, man. So we'll fucking see, man. I'm a minute away from 2 hours, so fuck it. I'm a minute away from 2 hours. And say no to data centers. I'm not gonna get to the Iran war. Yeah, I'm not even gonna go there. We'll have an update either this weekend. I might come back what if I do 3 straight days, right? But okay, Hunter said he got a hit. Yikes, that wasn't a good look. But yeah, man, get with Melissa, man. I think Springfield needed 740 signatures to really be able to get this in writing and pushed up to where it needs to be. again, if we can at least halt the build outs of or future investments of other data centers coming to the city. I mean, Springfield cannot afford a data center like, extracting all that type of water and all the resources that it takes. I'm sorry. Well, I mean, we'll see. I just can't believe this shit's at our front door. I don't know how equipped Springfield is and how much we can galvanize people in Springfield to really do the necessary things. I mean, we got our the city manager, Brian Heck. He's on paid leave right now. Sex scandals through the roof. I mean, it's a mess. But, I mean, we'll see. I know Springfield, there's been a lot of investment in Springfield, and then we was obviously put on national spotlight with the Haitian situation and then the Anthony Harris situation, all that shit. So we got national spotlight on us. There's national investments. There's national tech companies investing in Springfield. We got the fucking airport. Then we got the tech centers coming and the that airspace thing, the investment coming in 2027 and 2028 with the airports and all the new jobs that it's creating, the manufacturing plant. Then you got the police. I think the whole police force in Springfield. I'm talking about drones in Springfield, police drones, hovering drones, all types of shit. So we shall see, man. Listen, man. If y'all start the surveillance state, start it on Johnny Lytle. I'm out of here. Thanks, y'all, for tuning in. I'll be back at some point this weekend. We went back-to-back days. We had to finish it. Facebook tried to do some funny business yesterday. I didn't allow them. So I got more clips coming, more content coming. I need y'all to like and subscribe to the page, share, hit the bell as well. Tell a friend to tell a friend. But outside of that, man, this is your host here, Lord of Lips, signing out. Time to eat some roosters and watch. I'm either about to watch fucking Blade Runner or Inglourious Basterds.